Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I hope you're having a good Sunday and a good weekend. So, I am doing well. I was watching some Adam Smith today just to see what's going on, get a little refresher. That's what we're all about, is Adam Smith, basically. Um, Invisible Hand, division of labor, free speech, good sound money, good laws. That's what we're about. We try to, that's why I bitch about communism or state-run things, because they can't possibly predict what we want. So that's what I was looking at with Adam Smith. Let me show you what videos to watch. I mean, there's 2 books he wrote, which I highly recommend. But I'll show you. We can cheat and get the and use the videos. So these are the 2 I was watching. I watched the first one, very interesting. The second one I'm in the middle of watching. So in the first one, he talks about like division of labor, and they show this. I guess it's a Boeing 747 or Airbus. It's a big plane, and the principle was it was made in France. And there was like 20,000 parts on it. And there's no way one company could make all the parts. And they had something like 1,500 vendors. And so each vendor did their thing. And there was a lot of different parts on the wings and in the engine and, And so the idea is that everybody does their own little thing and they create an airplane with it. And it was an Airbus. And that's the story of a real strong economy, is you've got the division of labor. And that way, if I make airplane wing parts in Michigan, I can still do work for Airbus in France, as can people in Germany and South America and Asia and all over the world. You can still be involved with the Airbus because there's so many parts on the plane, but Airbus cannot make all the parts themselves. So it's very interesting. That's what I've always talked about. So division of labor is you do what you do. You do it very well. I do economics, football, finance, poker. That's what I do very well. Now I have a couple of different division of labors, right? I can pick football games and talk to you about gold and silver and Austrian economics. So I can teach that. Plus, I know finance very well. That's what my master's is in. So I got 4 or 5 different areas of expertise of division of labor. And that's the beauty of it. You can have as many as you want. It's really what you do, what your passion is and what you're interested in. And that's why you can do it ever you want, that you can make money at. So that's why it's hard to be a professional poker player. As well as I know poker, it's hard because there's too much luck involved to be a professional at it. I can be a professional football handicapper because I can do that very well. I understand that very well. And there's actually kind of less luck involved in football. If you know Mahomes is gonna win you the Super Bowl, it's not as much luck involved there. Or you bet on Joe Burrow, there's not that much luck. A little bit with the refs, but generally you're getting the skill set of players you're betting, and that's really not luck. Poker, I can have aces, you got kings, and I lose because a king hits. There's nothing I can do, and that's totally luck. Because if you got a pair of kings, there's only 2 kings left on the deck. 48 cards, basically, right? So the odds I'm getting the 2 out of the 48 are very slim. If there's 7, 8 people in the pot, the odds on one of them getting the king, it's still, there's still 2 and 48 left. But that's the idea. That's why it's hard to be a professional poker player. Especially if a guy has more money than you, he can just bet a lot, even though he's bluffing and you can't call. So football is a better way. But that's what the division of labor is. So I'm trying to teach you economics so you get a better understanding for your own well-being of how do I invest? And I'm giving you the method to invest. Who do I trust? Oh, I went to a stockbroker I never met before, and he told me to buy, shares of Amazon because I'm a dentist. I'm a doctor, and I go to Myers, and he's going to tell you what to buy, and you buy it, and then you lose, and you're like, you can only blame yourself. You can't blame the guy. He's a salesman. You can only blame yourself because you listened to him and you didn't know, and you shouldn't do what you don't know. You shouldn't have gotten the Madoff. If you couldn't get the answer, how do you make it? And he says, well, if you're going to ask me, then don't join. I would have said, fine, I won't join. You can't make 15%, and you can't even explain how you can make it because I've got a master's in it, and I know there's no fucking way you can make it. There's nothing you can hit the market. The only way is the way I tell you, which is to buy 1,000 shares, let it go up 70 cents, and then sell it. And even I can't win all the time because sometimes it'll go down as it starts going up. It'll double dip down. And then I'm waiting a week for it to finally go, but it's based on the news, which you don't have privy to. So as well as I did with the buy 1,000 shares, make 50, 60 cents and get out, I won a lot, but there were some losing days. You just can't keep winning. But that's the thing. If they don't answer your questions, then fuck them. So start off with that. Let's quickly do a little basketball, although I am terrible at it. So Florida, Atlanta, Kansas State, I have let's see. I had the under in the game, 153. Let's see if I won or lost. I didn't. I thought I had Kansas State, but oh no, that was I did have Kansas State. So I lost Kansas State. Florida Atlantic beats them, and then I have Connecticut, but I have over 153, and it doesn't get over, which is amazing. Let's see. Let's get to the odds. So there's only 2 games left, 2 games today. I hate when they had it on TNT yesterday because I don't have TNT. I just have the antenna. So I can't. I'm on CBS. There's no game. I'm like, oh, fuck them then if that's the way they are. All right. So let's see. So Florida Atlantic wins 79-76. I have Kansas State minus 1.5, a loser. Gonzaga, Connecticut, I have over 153, and the score is 136. Gonzaga scores a whole 84. All of a sudden, Connecticut's got defense. So 2 losers. My apologies. Like I said, do not bet me very strong in this. This is not my forte. Football is my forte, and I expect you to bet a lot on that. So then we got San Diego State, Creighton. We got Creighton minus 2.5 now, and 134.5 up from 133. I like the game under. I took San Diego State in the 2.5 because they beat Alabama. That's it. Creighton's a middle of the pack team. They didn't even win their conference. Then in Miami, Texas, Texas is 3.5, 147.5. Wow, that's down from 150. Well, the guy must not be playing for Texas. He must be injured. So let's go with Miami today then. I was going to take the over, but if the Texas players now, well, I still like that. Go Miami over and go Miami. So Miami 147 over, and then we're going to go Miami plus the 3.5. It seems like the Texas guy is out. Now, keep in mind, we don't know the teams, but we know San Diego State beat Alabama. We know that Miami beat Houston. So they both beat the real strong teams, so why can't they? Sort of the same as I had with Fairleigh Dickinson beat Purdue, and I had them against Florida Atlantic, and then I had Princeton beats Arizona, and I have them the next two games. So that's my thought process. So not a lot there. Let's see if there's any headlines. Let's see. The headlines on Google. NFL makes surprising decision regarding Eagles on-field drama. I don't care about that. U.S. bank trouble heralds end of dollar reserve system. Gold prices soar combined 9% through 4 weekly gains. But again, keep in mind this is derivative gold, not physical gold. So all this is bullshit. It just means there's so much demand that it's going to really break loose and it's really going to go high. Yeah, they're talking paper gold. So they don't even know what they're talking about. Grading Kansas City Chiefs offensive free agent signees. There's Tennessee cheerleader photos. Okay. Mock draft we don't care about. I own 12 high-yield dividend stocks. You're about to lose your ass. Black Widow bite. My son's hair is part of 1,000-year-old. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Don't show content from whatever the fuck that was. So let's go to Yahoo and see what they got for us in sports. Georgia 65-7. There you go. NCAA home. Let's see if they got anything for us. Michigan State featured in 11 potential candidates to be LSU's next defensive line coach and mock draft. So we don't care about that shit. So let's go to the NFL. Mock draft 6.8. Where will top quarterbacks go? Well, you can't show me a top quarterback. You don't even know what they are. Wagner to Seahawks, news broken by you. Okay, so Bobby Wagner is going back to Seattle. Maybe Richard Sherman will go back there. Sherman places blame on Mahomes, Allen for Lamar. I don't know what that means, and I don't care. Upon further review, NFL to discuss rule changes. Whoop-de-doo. Johnson gets 1-year extension. Whoop-de-doo. These 6 teams should consider getting Andre Hopkins. Tom Brady now a part owner of the Las Vegas Aces. Was that a poker club? Lamar contract. Sega takes an unusual turn we don't care about. The gangrene cryptically gang up on Zeke. That's, I guess, Philly gang up on Zeke Elliott. I don't know. Zeke's final 3 include former division rivals. So basically, they're not saying anything. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes' ankle hasn't slowed down his offseason because he wasn't injured, motherfuckers. Breaking down Will Anderson versus Darnell Wright. Why would you take Will Anderson? I don't get, because he went to Alabama. He's the next, Dick Buckus? Jets add speed on defense interior and Charles Davis. Well, they haven't even drafted yet. Dolphins Mike McDonald, the towel boy, spent Friday at Penn State's pro day. What the fuck do you need to go to their pro? Why don't you turn on the Ohio State and the Michigan games and you'll get all you want to know out about Penn State. Alan Lazard tells TMZ, Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett, I don't care. Ex-Giant Eli, who cares? Here's one. CJ Strong and Bryce Young solidify spots as top quarterbacks. Good luck with that, boys. Let's see, my buddy. So really nothing here. I don't want to hear about mock drafts. Bengals spotted at Michigan State Pro Day before NFL draft. Who cares? There's nothing at Michigan State worth drafting. So there's not much here. So let's go back to YouTube. So today, so like looking at basketball, you don't really know. What do you know? San Diego State beats Alabama. And who just Creighton beat Princeton. So they beat Baylor. So what do you take out of it? How do you say, I'm going to bet Creighton? How do you say I'm going to bet San Diego State? So I'm taking the dog. I get 2.5 with St. Fine. Miami beats Houston, and then Texas gets beat Xavier. The guy's injured. So what do you take out of this? And Miami can easily win this game is what I take out of it. So, with that said, this is why it's hard unless I watched like I do college football, where I get a feeling for Jake Haener, the quarterback of Fresno State, and Bo Nix at Oregon. I can't name a player on any team. I don't know, and I don't care. So it makes it extremely difficult. The matchups do favor San Diego State with the better defense. And then Miami, Texas is dead even. Probably take the dog there because I think Texas has an injury. That's what you got in college basketball, and we'll get down to our Final Four. Florida Atlantic, Connecticut. Let's see, Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, Miami, and Connecticut. And you wonder why nobody has an interest in it. Hey, Bobby Bo. Yes, I am. And did you see yesterday's video? If you didn't, I got some things to show you. Did you see the silver I bought? Did you check it out? So did you see the silver, that orange 5 ounce, and then did you see that mercury dime silver dollar? So I go there. So here's the story. I went Friday because as soon as I'm reading all the banking, I'm going gold. And then I saw Andrew McGuire, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I run to the store 10:30 on Friday, and he doesn't have anything but the $35 Liberties. And I go, so I'm ready to buy 20 of them. And I say, well, the other guy comes over and says, we're supposed to get 1,000 ounces in today at the other store. It'll be here tomorrow. And I said, you know what? I'll wait tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get the 20 anyway, but I'll wait till tomorrow. So I go in yesterday at 10:30, like beating the rush, which wasn't there at that time. Okay, just one second. Let me finish the story. So 10:30, I get there. He's got nothing. He's got no bullion. He's only got he's got two tubes of the Liberty at $700 a tube, and he's got a tube of Trump's $600. I'm very scared to buy Trump. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden guy. I'm an Adams. If Adam Smith's face was on it, I would have got it. So I'm sitting there, and I want you to watch these 2 videos, Bobby. I don't know if you saw the beginning. So you got to watch these 2 videos, and that explains everything. They're Adam Smith's on YouTube, and they really explain Adam Smith. And anyway, so I get there, and I'm going to buy 30. And then he sees, did you see the 5 ouncers? And I said, what are you talking about? Because I all they were these orange things, and they look cool, but they're orange. I'm like, well, what does that have to do with silver? He says, these are 5 ounce silvers. and they're 27 something an ounce. So it's $135 for 5 ounces, but it's all in a bar. I go, interesting. So I buy 15 of the Liberties at 35 an ounce, and then I added the 5 ouncer to it. And he doesn't know when he's getting the bullion in, and I'm going, you're never getting the bullion in because there ain't nothing left to get, right? It's all history. So it's another warning. Now, he did have 4 ounces of Liberty Gold ounces at 2,100 something an ounce. And he had 2 Cougarans at 2,075, and then he had some Credit Suisse ounces. They're bars, so they're ounces. I think they were like 2,050, and then he had these little grams, little tiny Credit Suisse grams that were 170. So they weren't even 1/10 of an ounce. I said, I don't want those. I wanted a 1/4 ounce, but he didn't have. So I didn't get the ounce of gold. And then I'm thinking, going, yeah, people, it's getting a little pricey at 2,100. Wait till it hits 21,000. How many ounces are you going to sell at 21,000? And the silver, for some reason, he's keeping the Eagles at 35, but the bullion's going up 8 over instead of 5 over. And he had about, I'm going to say he had 1 box of the 5 ouncers. So like 10 out there. So I had to buy 1. I thought it was adorable. I like the orange, but there's no bullion to be found. So I turn around and he had a whole case full of silver that he's down to he's got like 4 little compartments of it. Where's the rest? It's gone. So I start looking at him and I go, do you got the year of the rabbit? And he says, no, we didn't get this. He does have Chinese pandas, but they're $45. They're more collectible. So they're like 2018 pandas and they're 45. I said, I don't want that. And then I see he had some Britannicas and some maples. And then I think he had some Cougaran silvers. And then I saw this Mercury dime, which I showed you yesterday, silver ounce. And I said, oh, this is cool. It says they only made it 1 year, 2017. They made a series of them. They made like 10 of them. I go, how much? He says 35. And I said, okay, perfect. I'll buy 1 of those at 30. And that's all he had. So I bought it for 30, just to show you, Bobby. It was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Mercury dime. So I got 15 ounces of the silver Eagle $1. I get the 5 ounce bar, which is fine. I mean, if it's $1,000, I can give it for 5,000, or we'll see. And then the other is that Mercury dime had silver ounce. Now, the only problem is it's fine, but then when I looked at it from the side, it's a little bit dark. And he's saying you got to be careful, make sure you keep the condition on these. If the condition's really bad, it's like harder to sell, I guess. And in the crunch, I don't think it will be, but there. And so I was a little bit like, the side was a little bit black. And I was like, I didn't like it, but okay, it's 1 coin. And I'm like, okay with it. But otherwise, he had it in a plastic, but the side was black. But maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe it's the face that really is the determining. So I put that in. So now I'm up to 507 ounces of silver. And he's supposedly getting bullion in a lot, like 1,000 ounces. And I just don't believe it. I don't believe, but again, this is the bullion. This is the buffaloes and stuff, not probably more Trumps. He's down to 1 roll of the Liberty US $1 at 35. He's down to 1 roll, and some guy was next to me buying some more of those. There was nothing. The silver is gone. Huge demand. Get ready, Bobby. Here you go. Okay, so I got my 21 ounces. I'm a happy camper. Go. Your food question, Bobby. Feel free. I will wait for that. I'm going to start talking a little Adam Smith. Well, let's talk a little football. So basketball, we have no we have no idea. Basically, it's so bad. That's the problem when you have an inferior product. You can't. This is. I was listening on the radio about baseball, and they're trying to, we'll speed the game up and we'll make these gimmick changes and we'll start a guy at second base. And the problem is, no, you're missing Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays. That's the problem with baseball. I'm about to walk in the supermarket. What burgers are healthy to get? Going to grab avocados for the week. When you do, there's that little ball at the top. Pick the ball, and if it's yellow, you buy it. If there's no ball on it and it looks brown, or you pick the ball and it's brown, or it's really soft, you don't buy it. The avocados. As far as burgers, I don't know. I just get the regular ground sirloin, like 87 or 91%. I get 3 pounds and make nine burgers out of it. There is the grass fed, which is supposedly that. Now I did notice the grass fed, I told you was $12.96, was down to $9.99 at Meijer. So it did go down a few dollars. It's hard. It's not $10 for 1 pound of grass fed burger is very. It's expensive to buy when you can, for $5 you get $5 a pound, ground sirloin. So makes it difficult, but any of that's fine. You're going to cook it, so hopefully that cooks the hormones out of it. How are you going to get away from hormones? You just can't. I mean, they're in there. All I would say is if you're getting fish, do not get farm raised. Like farm raised salmon, you want wild salmon. Chicken, again, what are you going to do? Chicken and turkey. It's just what they do with the hormones, and you hope that you cook them out or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, it would get so expensive. I mean, you want grass-fed meat. Well, okay, good luck with that. And it's a lot more expensive, so it's very hard. So you eat 2 burgers per sitting. Well, I'll make 9. Yeah, without the bun. If it's for dinner, it depends how hungry I am. So if it's for dinner, I'm going to have 2 burgers and a salad. If it's for breakfast, which my breakfast is noon, I'm gonna like just take the burger that's already cooked. So they're already, because I cook them, right? I broil them, cook, boom, and then so now they're done. And then if I'm going to make an omelet, I'll take one and I'll just crumple it up. So when I'm eating my omelet, I get, I don't want to eat the hamburger. I want to eat pieces of it. And then if it depends on the size, I might grab another half and put 1.5 burgers in my omelet. And then I put, yellow, red, orange pepper in it, onion, mushroom, and broccoli, and and then I get that cooking, and then I throw the egg over the top, and then bake it for 2 or 3 minutes after I cook it on the fryer. So tend to eat it. So like I say, if I go, like today, I'll go swimming. The pool closes at 4:30. God knows why on a Sunday it would close early. So the pool closes at 4:30. So I'll get out of here by 3 and go and do a heavy workout. I'm freaking hungry after. So yeah, like on a day like this, I would definitely have 2 burgers and a salad for dinner. Yesterday I had the General Chow and I just finished it up. So she's there next week, and then on Sunday she's off, and she says we're taking 2 weeks off, and I think she needs it. She was starting to get a little bit, like, here's your food, like, no hello, no happy to see me. I was kind of joking, but I wasn't. I mean, it was like she was just very kind of abrupt, not at me, but just in general. So I'm like, okay, but she does great business. She is too cheap. The market at barbecue is you can't sell the ribs for 45, right? The market's 25, 26. And her Chinese restaurant, her General Chow is $13.95. And I'm going to say the market's at least $15.95. So she's here and the market's here, but she hasn't caught on. She was at 11 and just raised the price $2. So I don't anticipate another price increase for a while. But I think her market is much higher because the demand is huge. And that's really how you grasp it. And that's where I'm going to get to Adam Smith on you in 1 second. So she doesn't sell it, actually. Amazingly enough, she doesn't know her economics. Few do, like we do, but that's really the problem. So how do you figure out your market? Well, if the demand is high at the price you're at, you can raise your price. Because why is the demand high? Because the market likes the price. What you think of brown cage free eggs? They're fine. I just buy the, like, what is it, EB or whatever? I don't know the name. EB eggs, best eggs or something. Probably better. I mean, I don't, again, it's, are they giving the chickens hormones? And then are you not getting hormones in the cage-free one? So I don't know. They're probably better. Again, it depends on the price. And then you got to weigh the price and everything. But if you're fasting, you're not that hormones. But we will see. So watching Adam Smith, he's all about freedom, free speech, free thought, get the government out of the way, invisible hand, all that I teach you. So I was just watching those two Adam Smiths again. And so what they come out with is it's about the individual, as I preach, and it's free speech. And you're free to do what you want, division of labor, and it's for the best of the country. Will be greater productivity and greater gross national product, which is, the country's worth more. You're trying to get the worth of the country up. And there's no way communism or socialism can work because people's taste changed and you can't just figure that out. So if the taste change, you can't model that. That's why models don't work in Austrian economics, just like they don't work in football. You can try the models, but with the players and coaches changing teams, from baseball, Bobby, Barry went to San Francisco. Your team wasn't the same. So again, you're struggling with, so how do you value the team and bet on it with all the changes? And that's what the economy is. So we want avocados. Well, our economy just changed from you wanting, Fritos or Alphabets or whatever. We're getting off of sugar onto that when the market changes, but these idiots aren't going to redo their formulas that don't work. Anyway, so that's what Adam Smith's saying. It's the keep the monopolies out, keep the government out, because once he made the analysis of like, don't feed the animals at a zoo or at a park, right? So you're at Yosemite, and it's like, don't feed the bears, don't feed the ducks, don't feed them, because then they don't know how to hunt anymore. Now they just come to you and you feed them. They don't have to do the others. And this is the same thing with companies. If you are going to give them kickbacks and not tax them, they won't be as competitive. They lose that edge, is what he's saying. And that's wrong. That's bad for business. If they should be competing, not handed out, handouts. There shouldn't be lobbyists. There shouldn't be monopolies or government kickbacks. He says that's the danger of it. But again, communism, the problem is it's at the top. It's top down. And so what they're saying is the government at the top will dictate the bottom, and Austrian economics is the bottom dictates the top. I want blueberry muffins, somebody's going to make them. So I am at the bottom dictating what I want, and then I dictate what price I'm going to have. And that is the key to Austrian economics, and that's why it works so well. It's the best economic system, or classical, as they want to call it. I don't know what the hell monetarist is, but that's it. It's really the key to a successful economy. And then you have good laws and you have good money. and a fair economy and invisible hand, keep the government out. That's how the U.S. became so strong and how England became so strong. And then the guy goes to China. He goes to Hong Kong in like 1961 to 1971. A Adam Smith disciple goes to Hong Kong and puts all these systems in place, and Hong Kong is huge. Then early 2000s, I think, it goes to China, and that's how China became very powerful. Adam Smith. And now the communists see, and the problem is, so Adam Smith makes all this, and it's the key to it, right? Let the individuals, free market, get the government out of it. Let the free markets run. Don't let the government control the markets. Let the markets control the government. And it works, but then what happens is it's like Smaug and the dragon and the Hobbit, right? So you find all the gold, and then here comes the dragon to take it, and that's what happened in China now. The communists see all the money, and it brings the communists in, and they start doing government run, and we're going to do surveillance, and they're going to do all this crap, controlling and everything else. Let's control everybody. What is that? What? That's not Adam Smith. I don't even know if it's Hitler or communism. Like, what is that? Well, we'll control everybody. We'll come out with a digital currency. Digital currency can't work unless it's backed by gold, because any currency that is not, is it's just printed, will never work. So I don't see how digital currency can work and control can work, because you won't have a market, right? Where are you going? Oh, you can only go a mile from your house. Well, I got to go to the grocery store. It's 5 miles away. This is not China where we all live in a big apartment complex, and a half mile away we all walk to this huge grocery store mall type of area. This is we have cars, we drive. It'll never work in the U.S. So that's what Adam Smith, it was by observation. So he would look at what people do and how they spend. And then he talked about why we talk was because we learned it was better to communicate, right? The communication, to learn what people are thinking. So if I know that you like, bananas, I'll bring in bananas for you. And that was kind of the key, was all that stuff of learning people and communicating with people to get to know people, but as businesses. And really, it's all about what the guy in the bottom wants. You make, and it's in your best interest to sell the Bobby Bow tennis shoe if there's enough demand for the Bobby Bow, or there's demand for tennis shoes. We'll make the Bobby Bow. And we'll have Barry wear them, and everybody, Barry Bonds is wearing them, and Tiger Woods is wearing them. I want a pair. And then you create the demand, and then you set the price where the market's at. So if you're too high, nobody buys them. If you're too low, you sell out. If you sell out, you raise your price a little bit. You'll lose a few customers, but the additional price, you won't lose that many, will get you more revenue. So that's really what he was saying. And that's what we had in America. Now we've got all this government intervention and this JP Morgan, let's keep gold price down so we can keep the monopoly on printing the money. That's not Adam Smith. So that's when I talk to the communist in the hot tub, is what I try to explain. He tries to say it's no good if the top down, where the CFO makes all the money and the workers don't. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Everybody has a division of labor, can be what they want. So you go to school to learn whatever, or you go do whatever, and you get paid accordingly. And then the guy up top runs the company to make money for himself. But we need somebody to run the company, and there's not a lot of people that know how to run a company. So that's why they make a lot, because there's very few. It's like quarterbacks in the NFL. There's very few that are Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and Rodgers, so they make a lot. But Lamar Jackson is not in that class. And the CFO of these companies should get paid a lot, because there's not a lot of people that can run these companies. I probably could, but I don't know enough, or I don't think I know enough how to run it. But then I keep thinking, well, you don't do all the work. You just supervise. Hey, we need the taxes done. You don't actually do the taxes. We need the financial statement. Fine. What's the market look like? Who's our competitors? What are we able to make? What's our margin? What's that? So I'm very good at that. So maybe I could run a company, but that's what you're looking at is, like I said, that you can see the recession's coming. You can see gold's going to go through the roof. You can see inflation. So you take steps to solve that problem. So anyway, that's kind of what really it's all about. And that's why they should make it. But again, communism is the government controls it, sets the market. And the government has no idea what the market is. It's very hard for anybody to really know the market, as the market is always changing. So the key is to be able to adapt to the changing market. Is there a market for electric cars? I don't think so. There might be, but I hear more negative that the engines, the batteries blow up and catch on fire. You can't find a place. They're going to tax the electricity, and then they're going to, so the whole thing's a nightmare. And why do I not want my gas powered car? Oh, it's going to hurt the environment. Really? Can you prove that? No. So I'm not getting rid of my 2018 Camry to go buy an electric car because I'm going to save the planet. Like, really? We don't have any other way of getting the emissions. I thought they're clean now. We got catalytic converters and everything else. So really, that's what you're looking at is free market. So the market is the individual, not the government. That's the problem with communism. That's the problem with Russia, China, Canada, and that's why you need free market. And it's got to be let go bottom up. This is what we want. Somebody makes it. We want a blue shirt. Columbia makes it, and Nike makes it, and there's competition. And that keeps the price down and the quantity, and it's good for us. And that's what Austrian economics or classical economics is about us, and not about the big guy getting monopoly and the government interfering. So the guy up top makes all the money. What the fuck that is? That's not economics, and that's corruption. And people should go to jail. You can't have that. That doesn't work. Now you have all these idiots printing money like to death, and all these favors and the lobbyists. This is all illegal. What the fuck are they doing? It's not in the Constitution, and they're ignoring the Constitution. The Constitution was written by Adam Smith and Jefferson, who used Adam Smith, and Ben Franklin and Madison. These guys were Adam Smith guys. They wrote it. That's why we're such a good country for so long. But we created all this wealth, which brought in the dragon, the communists, and then they're all trying to steal it. But they're printing away their fortunes, and eventually it won't be worth anything. So then gold and silver, all we're asking for is put it at market. Let the market dictate. If me and Bobby want to buy gold and silver, then the market should go up. The demand's huge, but the price isn't going anywhere. It went up a little bit. It hit 2000. And then it's immediately down to 1970. Now, what Alistair McLeod says, it's broken, or Andrew McGuire, one of the two. One of my two guys, so they believe that COMEX is broken because COMEX's trigger was the algorithm. As the cash goes up, the gold goes down. It's not related. Because it's in dollars, it's a little related, because if the dollar's stronger, then theoretically the gold price would go down and vice versa. But because they're not valuing, it's not that the dollar is strong, it's strong versus the yen and the euro, not strong. So gold should not be going opposite of the dollar because it's not going up because it's stronger. So with that said, the gold price is so cheap, but if COMEX is breaking, and we all know Germany or Russia and China are, China had 25,000 tons from what their people have. And I'm sure they have a way of okay, we're going to raise the gold price and you're going to turn in your gold to get the money and they're going to keep the gold. So the Chinese government is probably after the 25,000 tons that the people have, that'll give them 60,000 tons. And Russia is probably thinking of doing the same thing. I don't know how much their people have, but we know they have about 15,000 tons. U.S. has, good thinking U.S. So the U.S. is freaking out because if they really let the gold price go and they don't have any, then what happens? Oh, we got zero. Zero times 50,000, zero. And then here's China and Russia, and then guess who takes over? He with the gold writes the rules, takes over. So that's really what is happening. And then all these bank crises are because Powell, nobody knows what he's doing. I think what he's doing, we're broke, right? We have this huge debt. Now, this is my assumption. And so first of all, we don't have any gold. So they don't want the gold price to go up, but they're losing control of COMEX. So they're not going to be able to keep it down much longer. And silver goes with it, Bobby. And then you have the, by Powell raising interest rates. So you got to understand, I'm a Swiss bank and I want to buy euros. I need to buy dollars to buy euros. I can't buy euros with Swiss francs. So I need to borrow dollars. I need to get dollars in the system. I need to borrow them. And I borrowed them at 1 or 2%. Now you raise rates to 5%. Now it costs me 5% to borrow the dollars so I can buy euros. I can't do it. So I think what Powell did is raise the interest rates because now they got to pay more to get the dollars because you can only use the dollars to buy euros or British pounds or whatever you want to buy, yen. So this is a way for the U.S. to make more money by raising the rates. So they're raising the price, right? So now Bobby's favorite. So this is $50, but you know what? If we make this $65, we'll get more money in because they have to drink Canadian Club. There's no other option. If you want to go to France, you're drinking Canadian Club. So this is the US dollar. You have to have this to get the other currencies. So they raised the price. But what's happening? Everybody's going, well, fuck you. And they're getting out of the market. They're getting out of the US dollars. Everybody's going away. So Powell's plan's not working. But what can he do? He can't. What's he going to say? Yeah, I fucked up. But that's what's driving it. It's making the cost of these things too expensive. It's always about cost. It's always about the market. So if the market for dollars is here and Powell's raising interest rates to here, just like ribs, just like oil, just like anything, if you make it here and the market's here, you're not selling it. Toyotas, whatever. Electric cars, the market, the demand may be here and they're trying to sell them, and the market, like Tesla's 50,000 and the market's 27. Well, we got to come down to the market. You got to figure out the market, but see, you're doing it backwards. The real way to do it, and he did it with cupcakes or donuts. So he's in, I don't know, in some European, let's say he's in Scotland. There's a bakery selling donuts. And they're really good donuts. And so they sell out of them. So they raise the price because they obviously, the price isn't keeping people away. So I can raise the price because the demand's there. And then he says the other bakers see it. And then they start making donuts and seeing there's demand for it. And then the ingredients used, the farmers start making wheat or whatever is used in a donut. And all of a sudden you got this booming thing that everybody likes donuts and we keep it at this price. And that's the market. And that's what Adam Smith saw. So once there's big demand, then other people get in to compete. That grows your economy. That was the point of it. And then the public, we benefit by prices going down, quality going up. We get different flavors and everything else. And it's made for the individual to buy. It's made for the buyer. And then, but the seller makes money, so he's satisfied by selling it also, right? Oh, I'm going to make $1,000 by selling donuts because the demand's there, and everybody likes it, so I'm going to make what they demand. I'm not going to come out with chocolate cookies and nobody wants them. They all want donuts, so I'm doing something there's no market for, chocolate cookies or whatever. So that's why you got to listen to the market. You can't make the market. So in communism or these government run things, that's why it never works, because they're trying to force the market. We're going to make electric cars. And then the problem is there's nobody, there's no demand for it. Oh, we'll make chocolate cookies. There's no demand. We want donuts, not cookies. And that's really the home market. And that's why what I see when I see the electric cars and stocks, and it goes through everything. It's just a beautiful way of, if you go through life that way, everything makes perfect sense to you, right? Oh, they're raising interest rates. Well, okay, it's going to affect the stock market because things will be too expensive. Inflation, what does it do? Raises costs. But you can't just say I got a 10% increase, I'm going to raise the price, because the market's sitting here going, fuck you, I'm not going to pay it. And or we'll just substitute. You make ribs too expensive, I won't buy yours. You make steaks too expensive, I won't buy it. I'll buy chicken. You make the ribs $40 at the restaurant, I won't eat them. I'll eat the chicken instead. So that's how the market can kind of fight back and control it. So yes, inflation's there, but you can't just pass the price on. Only few items: electricity, heat, gas for your car is about all you can do. Maybe water. That's it. You cannot clothes. And I've talked to you about polo shirt. Polo shirt's $100. Columbia is $20. What did I buy? Columbia. What do I care? I like this shirt. It's nice. I don't know how lucky it is, but I like the shirt, so I bought that. I don't give a fuck if it says Columbia, the Bobby Bow shoe, or Nike on it, or polo on it. I don't need a polo shirt. So that's what they're missing. So we can control the market. And as long as we're controlling the market, it works. And then there's the GDP grows because the market grows. And that's really the key to it. Now, the other thing was they did a whole thing in the first Adam Smith on shipping. And they have all these big containers in these ships. And they were saying how now it's global, right? They can ship watermelon all the, in the container, they can make it frozen. It can be to freeze beef. It can be to keep it refrigerated, so the watermelon will last for a month in a refrigerated thing. So there's all different types of these containers just sitting there. And so the example they use was like Scotch whiskey or French champagne. It can only grow in France. That's really the best place for it. A place like I don't know, Germany can't grow. They don't have the grapes to grow French champagne, right? Or German champagne is not as good as French. So what they're saying is that's the vision. That's free market. So you're not going to sell German champagne. You're going to sell German, whatever is German, versus French is going to sell their champagne all over the world. German's going to sell their things all over the world. Japan with the Kobe beef could sell it all over the world. So it's global. So what they're saying is it'll even help the globe, because if Bobby wants Kobe beef, well, it's only in Japan. Or what's that Argentinian steak that they have in Amsterdam? Well, okay, so if I'm in Amsterdam, I can have Argentinian beef, and I can't have Amsterdam beef. It's not as good. I don't even know if they grow it. And that's really the key, is it's worldwide now, and it's the consumer. He's the one that pays for it. So now you can make Kobe beef and sell it, or let's go to Argentinian beef. You can take your Argentinian beef, Argentinian farmers, and sell it in Amsterdam. That's the point of it. So it's a global thing, which is good for the economy all over the world. And that's what they're trying to say. That's the beauty of Adam Smith. And keep the invisible hand and keep the lobbyists out and keep the monopolies out. Keep everything out. Let it just, you want Kobe beef? I'm going to sell it. You want Argentinian steaks going to Amsterdam? That's what we're going to sell. Keep the government out of it. Keep the whole bullshit out of it. Keep JP Morgan out of it. They should not be interrupted. And that's the problem. So when those laws get broken and there's the interference and the lobbyists, that's really the problem. And that's what we have now. All the hands in the jar are stealing. JP Morgan, well, let's have a monopoly, we'll keep gold price down. What is that? No, the market dictates. So on one hand, we can be upset that the price is still low. On the other hand, we have to be fortunate that I just went and bought silver at 27 an ounce for a 5 ouncer and 35 an ounce for my Liberties are still 35 an ounce. They should be much higher. So now I start using critical thinking going, wait a minute, what is the demand? So we go back to our market, and the demand for gold and silver is here, but the price is down here. Therefore, we're going to keep buying it. Are we sure the demand is there? Well, we listen to some guys on YouTube and they go, yep, the demand's high and it's almost gone. And there's no more. So that's why I listen to Andrew McGuire or Alistair McLeod. Oh, yeah, the demand's through the roof. They're breaking COMEX, da-da-da-da-da. And therefore, if the demand's here, the price has to go here. And if the price is still here and the demand's here, of course we do it. Now you add the bank failures, which means I got money, I got to put it in gold and silver, which increases the demand from here to here, but the price is still here. Why isn't the price going up? And that's why I'm, if you look at that market, on one hand, you're frustrated. Why isn't my silver 2,000 an ounce? But on the other hand, I just went and bought more of them at $27.50 and $35 an ounce. And therefore, wait a minute, I just bought more. I was able to buy more of something that I know is much that has huge demand, but the price hasn't got there. You can only hold it down so long, JP Morgan and COMEX, and you can only keep your monopoly, but it's based on this dollar that is just losing and spiraling out of control because nobody wants it. You got idiots, Jerome Powell, trying to raise money by making the interest rate higher. The interest rate has one purpose. It's the cost of money. That's it. Now, you can either do it the way he's doing it or the prudent way in the Robbins country, professor's country, is let the market dictate. I'm not even sure with gold that you have interest rates because you got gold. I don't think you need interest rates. But that's what you want. You want the market to control everything. And then what's the market? It's I'm going to pay $50 for Canadian Club. That's the market. The market is I want a product. You made the product, and then we agree on the price. You come out at 70, that's too much. You come out at 30, we all buy it out. So you go, oh, I can sell more because I'm selling out. So the key is if I sell out of it, I can sell it for more. Until now there's too much on the shelf. Now I got to lower the price. And you have to keep adjusting the price in the market. And now you have to adjust because of the inflation. Yes, your costs go up, but then people have less money to buy it. So you got to lower your price on Canadian Club, not raise it. If you raise the price and people have less money because the utilities went up, their food's going up, and again, you should be substituting your food. Get out of what like Bobby just asked about hamburgers. Well, yeah, theoretically we'd want grass-fed hamburger, but it's $12 a pound. Maybe it's $10 a pound. That's a lot. I mean, I make 3 pounds of burgers because I don't want to cook every day. It behooves me to broil it, put it in the oven once, cook 10 hamburgers or 9 burgers, and then the cooking's done, and then I put it in the fridge, and then when I'm ready, I either nuke or put on the frying pan a couple of the hamburgers, or how I make my eggs, and then so I don't have to cook 10 times. So if I buy a pound for $10, I got to buy 10 pounds of it. It's $100. Or no, I got to buy. A pound should make me 3 burgers. So I got to buy 3 pounds. It's $30. Now I buy 3 pounds. It's $15, $16 at a very high end grocery store. So 2 burgers and an avocado per meal. No, not per meal. I eat 1 avocado a day, and I would eat probably 2 burgers a day. So I'm going to have an omelet and the avocado, like I just had. I had my avocado. I had a little bit of my dark chocolate. This is my 90 dark chocolate. So I had an avocado, a couple of squares of this, an orange or a banana, and my eggs, my omelet. And the eggs are very important because of the protein. That was my breakfast. So I had an omelet with broccoli and green and red peppers, my avocado, and that. Dinner will be some of my General Chow and my salad. That'll be my dinner. I'm not going to have another avocado. I have one a day. A lot of protein in them, a lot of fat in them. They're excellent for you. They're the healthiest food you can possibly get. And so I have that. Then it gets, the problem I have is after the workout, right? So here I haven't eaten since 7 o'clock last night. So I have the omelet and I have the avocado. And that kind of holds me off because I'm not putting any bad things into my system, Fritos or Oreos that are going to make me hungry, right? I'm eating avocados, and omelets are not foods that make you hungry. So I'm not going to do that to myself. But then dinner comes, so I'll have some protein, the chicken, the burgers, the steaks or whatever, and I'll have a big salad with it. And that's kind of my thing. And the problem is when I get hungry after, so by going swimming, then I eat, I'm fine. It's when I go swimming at 7 o'clock, after I do my normal class and we're done at 3, I'm basically kind of eating lunch as we go. I'm eating my avocado, but I'm still hungry. So then I have like an omelet or a steak at 3:30, and then I go swimming at 5:30, and I get home at 7 o'clock, and I really haven't had dinner. I've just kind of had lunch. And so then I'm trying to figure out what to do. So I'm trying to eat a little bit more before I go swimming. And when I get home from swimming, then I get very, very hungry with that workout. By the way, do you make the burgers in a pan? I can do both. I tend to broil them. I just like the way they taste. Little Italian dressing cans, and then salt, pepper, a little garlic, a little turmeric, and some basil. The basil is really good. I'll put that on the broiler in the oven, and I can put 9 burgers, aluminum foil on the broiler pan and broil it, 5-6 minutes, turn it over, 5-6. I can cook it in the pan, but I don't have room for 9. I have room for 3 or 4. And I can do that. I think you have to put them on a high heat, and then you let them cool down. So that's good. I make steaks like that too. You can go either way. I like them on the grill too, but I don't have a grill anymore. So yeah, that's what you want to do. You can do either way. Just make sure it's high enough in the pan. So you want to put it on like medium high heat. Let it sit for 2 minutes. Then you throw in your olive oil after the 2 minutes. Never put the olive oil in before the pan gets hot. Pan's hot, olive oil. You'll hear that little spankling. Then you can put the hamburger on, and then the hamburger should make that sound when you put it in. It should be high, and then it's probably 4 or 5 minutes. Flip it 4 or 5 minutes, and then you're done. And then let it cool for a few minutes, and then off you go. But put your seasoning on it. And the olive oil I like. It's very healthy. And the lemons. I've been doing a lot of lemons. I think it helps my feet. My feet were really bothering me this morning when I woke up. I think it's just my bed. It's just the way I sleep or something. Now they're feeling okay. I took my ibuprofen, and I took 2, and now they're a little tender, but not bad. Anyway, so that's what it is. But so to answer your question, you can put burgers, you can put steaks, you can put salmon in the pan. If you do get chicken breast, now I do cut the chicken breast. So I get that big chicken breast, I cut it up. I can throw that into the pan with the veggies, the broccoli, especially the broccoli and the peppers, and it tastes really good. That like stir fry. I just started buying asparagus now, and you just lay them in the pan, put the olive oil, get it hot, lay them in, and then put butter over them. And the asparagus tastes fine. It's just a change of pace. I haven't gotten them. I say, I'm going to get some asparagus. So on veggies, put them in the pan. Just make sure you got butter for your, and that butter is very healthy for you. There's nothing wrong with salt. That won't hurt you either. So that's what you're trying to do. And then you're just trying to, so it's a lot of meat and a lot of vegetables, a little bit of fruit. You got to be careful with the fruit. And that's really it. And you're drinking a lot of water and green tea and coffee, and that no sweetener, no sugar. You're really avoiding sugar. So you're eating whatever you can. Well, obviously you're not going to have carbs, so you're not going to have cereal. You're not getting Lucky Charms and Cheerios. And you're going to be careful with bagels and muffins. And, like today, it's Sunday, go have a bagel. Fine. That's it. And then you're not having one every day. You can treat on a Sunday, but I'm going to go to the pool and work out, so I'm going to burn it off anyway. So really, if you watch the market from a supply demand, Adam Smith, let the market dictate, and then you make the muffins off of what the market. So where's the market want? Blue shirts, I'm going to make them. So this comes first, the chicken, and then the egg is I'll make the blue, I'll make the muffin, I'll make the chocolate ice cream. I'll make what the people want because I know there's demand, and then therefore I can make a living. That's the Adam Smith world, not the government forcing you're going to go to digital currency. You're going to buy electric cars. That's not how it works. A market works bottom up, not top down. Communists, the Chinese, the Russians are top down. We're going to tell you what to do. We want you on CBDCs. We want you to own electric cars. It doesn't work because you can't tell me what I want. It's free spirit. It's freedom. My freedom is fuck you. I don't want an electric car. Fuck you. I don't want to be controlled, and I'm not going to go to CBDCs. So now I got to use my brain going, okay, how do I avoid all this shit? Well, I just bought a gas powered car. I got a Camry. I'm going to go buy a bunch of gold and silver. Then I don't have to fuck around with CBDCs. And then we'll figure out how to buy whatever. I don't see the grocery stores going out of business. Oh, so Kroger's and Meijer's and Sam's Club and Costco's is going to fold up. So the guy who owns it, who's making $1 billion, is going to say, oh, well, I guess that's it. I don't think so. That's why I think the whole thing's bullshit, because you've got to have these guys say, hey, I'm going to walk away from billions of dollars. And it's never going to happen. So I don't really get what the fuck they're trying to do with this central bank. Hitler couldn't do it with force, although Hitler just wanted to steal all the gold. But Hitler couldn't do it. Stalin couldn't do it. And those are pretty vicious motherfuckers. They couldn't do it. So I don't really see how the head of the Bank of International Settlements or Charles Schwab or whatever that guy's name is, that slob guy, the Nazi, or George Soros is going to sit there and dictate, to everybody, this is what we want you to do. And we're all going to say, oh, of course, we'll just bend over, we'll kiss your ass. No fucking way. Not in America. We're too used to freedom. You cannot do that to us. You might do it in China where they're controlling the people. And I was watching YouTube yesterday, and it was really scary. Is they have all these little cameras on the lights, right? So there's 5, 6 different cameras, and they're digitally screening people, and then they're going to use it for control. Oh, wait, you did this and you did that, and and I'm like, okay, I watched enough Vegas to know if I wear sunglasses and a hat, you can't pick it up. So if that comes here, I'm going to be sunglasses and a hat, and you won't know who the fuck I am. There's always a way around it. But again, it works in China because they're all controlled. They're doing it in Hong Kong and China. Well, okay, but don't use that as the norm. That is not the norm. These are a bunch of controlled people. And now they're going after their gold, and they're going to say, oh, okay, look, the gold price is up. They'll cash it in, and then they'll take the gold that way. And I'm off to Switzerland with mine. I don't know about that. And so basically that's what you have. Again, it's all market driven. And when you try to force the market, it doesn't work. The housing market, you're raising interest rates. Again, this is what the market says. And then here's where you're at. And you wonder why the housing market's going to crash. And then you have the car market, same thing. The interest rate's forcing the price up. 30,000 for a Camry at 10%, and the market's there at, I'll give you 24. It's too expensive. I'm not going to buy it. And so people go to the substitute goods. Because we're not living in communist Russia or Cuba, there's substitutes, there's competition. So we can say, fuck you. We're not going to buy an electric car. We'll buy a regular car. Or we're not going to, we're not buying the ribs. We're going to buy the chicken. We have substitute goods and competition we can go to. We're smart enough to go, that's too expensive. I'm not going to buy it. And then if you want to be in business, you have to lower your price to get where the market is. So you always have to figure out the market. If it's real estate, if it's cars, if it's interest rates, if it's blue Columbia shirts, tennis shoes, food, there's a market. I noticed Coca-Cola, $2.79 for a 2-liter. And all of a sudden it's, well, if you buy any Coke or Pepsi bottle, you get the third one for free. Well, wait a minute. So if I buy 3, it's really $1.80. The price has gone down. Now I got to buy 3 to get it, but it's Coke and Pepsi. Probably I would buy 3. Now me, I try to stay away from pop, but basically if it's a normal family and the guy, he's going to buy 2 liters of Coke and Pepsi, and then there's the market. So I was watching The Big Short and Margin Call and all those movies. And it's the same thing in The Big Short. What happened? You were making loans to people that couldn't afford them and what I caught today, and I was just watching it on YouTube, little snippets, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So what happened was, in a nutshell, they were the people making the loans who worked for the Goldman Sachs or that, those people had the incentive of selling variable mortgages. They made like $10,000 for variable mortgages, $2,000 for a fixed mortgage. So they pushed everybody to variable, and they probably sold it at, look, you're only paying $200 a month for your mortgage, and it won't go up. And it was basically no checking. I don't care what your credit is. I don't care if you're working. I just want to sign you and make my 10 grand. And that's the problem. Well, what happens when you lend money to people that aren't going to pay you back or can afford the initial variable, the 2%, but as soon as it goes up to 4%, they can't afford it? Well, what's going to happen? How are these people all that stupid? But again, that's the market. So you have people that shouldn't even be in the market that can only afford this much, and they get into the variable rate because the guy makes a bigger commission on the variable rate. The variable rate goes up because that's what a variable rate's going to do 100% of the time. It's going to go up and up and up, and these people can't afford it. So what happens? Well, there you go, the housing crash, because people couldn't afford their things. And they interviewed like a stripper, and she said, well, I got 4 houses. And they're like, you got 4 houses? I just bought them. I'm going to sell them. And she got stuck with them, and she had to walk away. And that was who buys 4 houses as if they're baseball cards? I mean, you don't buy 4 houses. You buy 1, maybe a retirement house. Maybe you live in New York, you buy another house in Florida, and you have the 2, summer, winter. Or you buy 1 in Europe and 1 but you don't buy 4, and it's only if you're rich and you can afford it. So she's buying. So that was the crash. So if you just understood the market, and then you're understanding that there these people that aren't even in the market, they're down here, and you're selling them this, they shouldn't be in the market. They can't afford it. So it's like trying to, go to Morton's and have a steak dinner, and the bill comes to $100 for the steak, and I don't have it. Well, we don't want you in the restaurant because you can't afford the meal. That's the whole key to it, right? So that's all the big crash was. It was, Michael Berry wants to take credit. Big fucking deal. Like, wow, what a genius you are. If you'd understand economics, Austrian economics, classical, and you knew what the market was doing, and you knew these people couldn't afford because there was no credit check anymore, because Clinton said, oh no, we just want everybody to buy a house. We'll relax you. If you lose money on the mortgages, we'll reimburse you. So the government saying we'll bail you out if you lose, because we want everybody to own a house. And so everybody and their mother could buy a house cheap as long as the variable rate didn't go up, which of course it was going to. That's the big short. You didn't need a formula for that. You didn't need anything for that. Just if you just understood the market, you'd know these people are only in the market down here. So as soon as you start raising the variable rate, you lose. So now the question is, why did the banks raise the variable rate? Would you be better off having the person in it at a low rate but could afford it, or you raise the rate from 2% to 4% and the people can't afford it and they all walk away? What was better? They should not have raised the rates, right? Would you rather have, I don't know, let's say 500 a month coming in as opposed to raise it to 800 a month, but nobody can afford it? Are you doing better at the low rate? Just keep, the market would have dictated you keep the rates low. So I don't know what the banks are thinking by raising the rates. You killed yourself. So why did you raise the rates? They can't afford them. So it's like selling the Toyota for 30 grand. The market's 25. You want to sell them for 30. You don't sell any. You lower your price to get the sales. These people are in these houses at this low rate is what they can afford. You fucked up. You made the market, whatever, where they're in it at the top, right? This is it. You can't go any higher. You fucked up. You had this very low variable rate that these people were able to buy the house with. You can't raise the rate. Now, the difference is when you buy a house, it's not like buying tuna fish. You can't buy the other brand, or we'll substitute with, chicken soup. You basically buy a house, you're fucked. So you can't just walk away. So therefore, the banks fucked up because they made these loans low. That was the market. You can't raise the rates on them. And that was the bank's problem. If you should never have had the loan. So what you did was you brought in this whole new market. So it'd be like selling gold at 25, and it's bad because you own it, but it's like, it's got to be something that you own, like a house or a car. So you own the house, and I'm going to pay. So that's why I do a fixed mortgage. I lock in at 3 or 4%. Thank you very much. I never have to worry about that. But these people were stupid, and the salesmen were selling variables because they're making big commission on it. So if you're the bank, what the fuck are you doing? You're paying these guys a huge commission to do variable rates. These people, you're not even looking at their credit. And can they even afford that teaser introductory rate? But then you shouldn't be raising rates on them. They can't afford it. They're all going to walk away. How does that benefit you as a bank? You get fucked because you can't look at the margin call movie, right? It's the same thing. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't, because they then made these REITs, real estate investment trusts, which is based on the higher interest rates. And all these people are defaulting. So that's why they went out. And so you can't just make the market. You got to understand your market, and then you can't raise prices, right? Is it better to have all these people walk away, or to still get them paying and not raise the rates because they can't afford it? So my suggestion would have been, you probably don't want to go on variable rate. You probably want to check the credit. And if they can afford it, have them go into fixed rates. But you made the commission higher on the variable rates. What the fuck are you doing? So then they all go bankrupt, and they're all waiting for bailouts. And then the whole economy is thrown in because you're making bad loans without checking credit of people. And then you're raising the cost on them, and they can't afford. But because it's a house, Their only option was to sell them, which crashed the market because they're all trying to get out of the houses. The stripper has 4 houses. What's she going to do? She can't afford it. So she's going to sell all 4 of the houses or 3 of them. Yeah, good luck. So now there's a glut of houses on the market. It's not hard to figure out what happened. It's very logical. Even in the movie That Big Short, they're all bitching that why isn't whatever their trade is, as the defaults were happening, they should have been making money and they weren't making money. And they're all bitching like we're doing with gold. Why isn't gold going up? There's inflation, boom, 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 there's demand. And it will eventually go up, but it's being price fixed down. And you have to understand when it's not moving, it's fixed. And then the question is, how long can they keep the fix? And they're almost done with it. And that's what you have to understand in this whole thing here. So the banks are basically all collapsing because they all bought bonds to lend out the 2% and get 5%, but the bonds price has gone down because of Powell. So what the fuck's Powell doing? Like, Powell doesn't know what he's doing. Janet Yellen's even dumber. So these people don't know what they're doing. They're trying to, we're trying to get inflation down. The only way you get inflation down is to stop printing and lower your government spending, right? But what do the Keynesians want? More government spending will get you out of this. No, more government spending is going to add to the inflation. So you're dealing with idiots that have no idea what they're doing. So that's why we who understand what they're doing realizes your only option here is they're collapsing everything because they're idiots, is to get into gold and silver because that's the beneficiary of it. And had you done that, as I said, in that one Attack on Wall Street movie, had the guy, instead of putting 60,000 into the stocks, bought gold, nobody would have died. It would have been worth 100 grand. He couldn't have lost. He would have had the gold. But it's just amazing how stupid people are. Not only do the brokers will never put you in gold, but people don't even look at gold. Oh, it doesn't move. It's money. Hello, anybody home? It's actual money. It doesn't go down. It only goes up because you can't print it anymore. So the whole philosophy of inflation is, I print this to death. But you got gold. You can't print it to death. You can't print it. You can't. You can only find a mine with 1 million ounces. And even if you did, it probably is not even going to dent the demand. You can't inflate gold. That's the beauty of it. And it's money. Since the Romans, that's the other beauty of it. It's a no-brainer, no risk, huge return. But it doesn't give dividends. Who the fuck cares? It moves. Now everybody's searching, and now they're starting to pull their money out. Where's it going to go? Bitcoin, stocks, gold, and eventually it'll be whatever they put in the stocks, they'll get out of the stocks, put it in the gold, and eventually gold will be the only answer, which will make the price go up. And you have no risk of it going to zero, especially in this time. So I give you a perfect investment. It's like betting on a football game you can't lose, right? You're betting on it. There's no way you can lose. You're going to win. Off you go. And you're going to win big. I mean, you can't lose. That's the beauty of gold. And that's how gold and football connect. So all these movies, it's very common sense. It's all about the costs going up over the market. Every movie that Wall Street fucks up is because the costs are over the market. And they're too stupid to understand what the market is and how it works. And this whole housing crisis should never have happened. If you are dumb enough to loan money to people that can't afford it, you can't raise the interest rates on them. They can't afford it. Are you better off with people owning the house at a lower interest rate or a lower cost than you are raising the rates and they can't afford it? And then there's this flood of everybody selling because they all walk away from their mortgages. Was that planned so BlackRock could pick up the houses cheap? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the plan. These people, are they really that stupid? And that's the question that I keep asking. Are these people this stupid? But I got a feeling, yes, they are. They're a bunch of idiots. They don't get it. You're far better. Every once in a while, I sell my week of football, college and pro, 125. Every once in a while, I can't afford it. It's Christmas. It's this, is this. Can I give you $75 for it? And I go, yeah, I'd rather have 75 than nothing. And if the guy can't afford 100 and a quarter, okay, I'll work with them. It's football. My cost is in my expertise of picking the game. I don't actually, I got to pay the website and I got to pay my IT guy, but it's me figuring it out. I don't have to pay an analyst. I'm the analyst. So I'm like, okay, you can do that. That's fine. But it's the same thing. I'd rather get something than nothing. So if I got a mortgage, I'm not going to raise the rates because I'm not going to get anything. Then I'm going to get a house. What good is that? That these bastards crash the price of our metals? There's no way. How? It's impossible. Now you're going to ask, well, how? Well, because Russia and China, right? So you got Russia and China, huge. See, the key, Bobby, is the demand. If there's no demand, then yes, but there's huge demand and it's worldwide. This is a worldwide product, the gold and silver. So there's a thing, and let me show you again. I think I have it somewhere. Let's see. Well, I care, our buddy. What's it say? China to mobilize 25,000 tons of citizens' gold. Okay. How is that going to affect the price to go down? Right. They're putting 25,000 tons, so they want the price to go up. When you have huge demand, as I say, so you have the mantle card, the demand for the mantle card's huge, so the price goes up. So the only way that the price of gold and silver would go down is if there's no demand in the whole world. Well, we know the BRICS countries are all moving away from the dollar, going to a gold standard dollar. So nobody likes Russia and China and India anyway. They don't get along. So the only way that BRICS is going to work is they have a dollar backed by gold. The U.S. just came, there was a senator from West Virginia who's saying, hey, we need to go back on the gold standard to save ourselves. Well, it's all headed there because this piece of shit is worth zero, right? The fat, ugly lady is worth nothing. So if the fat, ugly lady's worth nothing, how would the price go down? The only way is if there's no demand, which there's huge demand. So that's why you don't have to worry about it. And the BRICS countries backing their gold, having a gold standard dollar, and everybody losing their dollars in the U.S. So as this goes to zero and the banks collapse, everybody's going to run into gold and silver, which is going to make the price go up. So I don't see how they can possibly crash the price of the metals. That's not possible. Now you're thinking, COMEX. Well, that's the beauty of what Russia and China are doing. They'll have their separate. So COMEX is here. Russia, China is going to be here. And in the Russia-China market, the price of gold is $30,000. COMEX can't go down. Well, we'll go down to 500. It doesn't work like that. If the Russians and the Chinese say 30,000 an ounce, COMEX has to be 30,000 an ounce because it's got to compete. If it's 30,000 and COMEX goes down to 500, everybody cleans out COMEX. But again, COMEX has to have inventory. They can do their derivatives all they want, but they need inventory, and that's really the problem. So if people want to buy it and they don't have it, sorry, you can't tell me gold's 500 an ounce and not have any gold. And believe me, it would be bought very quickly by the Russia to China. And I'm saying the demand's already huge. So the Russia, China, BRICS countries are what's going to make this price go up. So I don't see what your concern is. crash the price of the metal. So you don't know enough, so you're worried. You don't know how it works. It's in a baseball term. That's like you saying New York Mets goes 52. So that's where you're at. Because they can't, could it happen? No. The price is going up. The price is made by demand. You're crashing, you're crashing the system. You're crashing fiat currency. People will run out of the currency in the gold and silver, which makes the demand go up. So you're not grasping the concept, Bobby, of demand creates price. A lot of demand for the metal, the price goes up. What I'm saying is we got the price low for this demand, right? So the price has to come up. You're saying, well, can the price go down? Well, not with this demand. Now, if the demand went to nothing, then the demand for this is going to nothing. So the value of this is going down. So if your question is, can this go down? It is going down. But if your question is, well, can they bullshit around with the price and make the gold go to zero? No, that's not possible. Because in the laws of economics, demand creates price. If demand is high, that means people want it, right? So as long as people want it, how is it going to crash the price? I don't see that at all, Bobby. Not with what's going on now. So I'm not sure your concern. As I said, at worst case, you take it back to the coin store and get your money for it. Get your money that nobody wants that's losing value. Okay, so let's take Bobby to his conclusion. JP Morgan is crashing the price of metals. This is your alternative, right? Your alternative is this crap. That's it. There's nothing else. There's money, it's gold. There's no choice for it. So you're either in this or you're in your metals. Now, everybody's running into metals. Everybody wants it. So the demand for metals is there. Is there a demand for this? Well, but they're killing the value of it. So if they're killing the value of this, there is no alternative. You're going to get into gold and silver. You could get into Bitcoin, but first of all, Bitcoin's limited at 21 million. I don't know how many are made or how many are in circulation now, what's left. But once you hit 21 million, then what happens? So in this, you either are in this or you're in gold. What would you rather be in with what you know? And that's really the question, Bobby. So when you look at your choice, dollar going to zero or gold, my burgers came frozen. Not well. You got to let them thaw out. You don't really want to nuke them. You really don't put them in the oven to get them up to room temperature. There's not much you can do. I always just leave mine out. I don't know. So if they're frozen, I usually take them out of the freezer at 10 o'clock at night, and then at 7, 8 in the morning, they're pretty much thaw. And then I cook them whenever, but I don't know how they would taste if you put them in the oven to thaw them out. I don't think that's a good thing to do. But anyway, so do you understand your other question, Bobby, with the crash the metals, right? You don't really have an option. It's either paper or metals. And of the two, the dollar is crashing, not the metals. We need some form of money. I don't see how gold and silver is crashing or how they could crash it. So I don't buy that. Honestly, I don't see how that's possible. I really don't. So that would be, I'm over 500 ounces of silver right now, Bobby. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I'm an economist. You're not. So you're really thinking out of the box. I don't know where you're getting your thought process, because after what I'm telling you, there's demand is going to always have price. Even if they're price fixing, other people will be buying it, but since it's all derivative, it's not even real price. And just the Russia Chinese gold backed currency will keep that price fat and happy. So you're worrying about you should be more worried about this value going down than gold and silver. There's always a demand for gold and silver. There's been a demand since the Romans. This is what the point is. So in Zero, Christ is walking around, Julius Caesar's walking around, they got gold. And they've had gold ever since, right? 2,300 years later, they're still wanting gold and silver. So there is no other option. The only would be if there was another option. Gold and silver would lose its value if the option was aluminum foil. We're going to go to aluminum foil instead of gold and silver. So there has to be a substitute for gold and silver for it to not have a value, and there isn't one. Bitcoin is not a substitute, and it's limited to 21 million, and I don't know how many ounces, but Bitcoin's not the answer because it's electric, and gold and silver you can hold in your hands. There's a little part of the population in Bitcoin, but generally that ain't the answer. You lose the internet, you're fucked. Gold and silver, you're not. So is there a reason you're worried about this, Bobby? Or do you understand how I explained it? Or do you still you're still concerned about these people raining on your parade? But anyway, that's kind of how I view it. I don't see any real issue. So if you get a chance, watch these Adam Smith ones. They're on about an hour. It's very, very interesting. It's an observation. People like something, you make it. And then the price is set based on how many you sell. And if you sell a lot, then raise your price. And if you don't sell any, you lower your price. But you're waiting for the demand first, just like gold and silver. The guy can't keep any gold and silver in his store. I'm not worried about the price going down. I'm worried about getting it before the price goes up. So leave it to Bobby to be the contrarian to ask some question from outer space. But it's okay, Bobby. It's a good question. I get your concern. But like I said, if you need to, just change your money back in the paper. Go back into this if you want before there isn't anything to take. Go back into that, and that's fine. And off you go. So I guess you ordered your burgers. Yeah, really, I don't. If it was frozen chicken or frozen fish, I would say put it under hot water because it really won't affect it. But I don't think you can put meat under hot water and not affect the burgers. So you don't really want to wash steak or hamburger. But if it was chicken, like I have chicken breasts in the freezer, I could take it out, soak it in hot water, which would kind of, but still it's still going to be a little frozen. It's going to taste funny. So you still want it to naturally thaw out and off you go. But you don't want to, how are you going to make the patty? Unless they came already made patties, how are you going to make the patties? It's frozen. So let's say they come, patties. So you put them on the frying pan, but it's going to be ice inside of it. It's not going to taste good. Anyway, so that's what we got, Bobby. Let me know. Does that answer your question? Otherwise, NFL mock drafts, we don't give a fuck about. We'll wait for the real draft. Now I see, people must talk when I do my videos. All of a sudden, who's moving up the charts? Who does Oakland want? Thompson Robinson from UCLA, the quarterback. So the professor gives them all, here you go. And now who's moving up? Thompson Robinson, will he be Oakland's first round pick? If I was Oakland, it's a steal to get that guy over Richardson or CJ Stroud or the Alabama guy or the Kentucky guy. It's a fucking steal. Now, is he the best quarterback in the draft? No, I think that goes to Hooker or Bennett. I think Bennett's probably the best. You won 2 fucking national titles. I don't know what you want. Yeah, I know Charlie Ward won one for Florida State, but generally, that's what you have. Is you have you have Thompson Robinson. You have those guys are the best quarterbacks. Not Rising's the best, but he's not playing. He's still playing another year. But what you got, you're fine with these quarterbacks. Thompson Robinson and Hayner and Bennett and Hooker. Those are your best 4, not the 4 idiots they got up front because he went to Ohio State, and we know all Ohio State quarterbacks did well. I'm like, what are you looking at? Well, you can't blame the school. Yes, because it's the same system, and it doesn't work in the NFL, and they're not trained to read blitzes, and they're not trained for reading defenses. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Look at Fields. Chicago won 3 games. The only reason they won him is he started to run all over the place, which is sort of what CJ Stroud was, but we see what it looks like in the NFL, not very good. When you don't use your receivers, you got a problem in the NFL because their linebackers are as fast as your cornerback. So I don't know what they're thinking, but definitely I think it's crazy. Anyway, with that said, those are your best. So all of a sudden, here comes Thompson Robinson up into that. Bobby, did I answer your question, or do you need it repeated? Let me know. But please don't worry about metals. As long as there's demand, there'll be price. Even if they say, okay, and the derivatives went down to 1,000, it would be there for a day. I mean, look what happened. They were 1,800. Now they went up to 2,000. They can't even hold them down. And the next stop is 1925. And then it'll be 2,000. And then, it's going to go up until it breaks loose. Once it hits the physical price, then you'll be laughing your ass off when it's worth 40,000 going, yeah, I probably should have bought some more gold. But that's and even that price is low. Eventually, it won't be priced in dollars. It'll be priced in gold, and you'll be going into your Mercedes dealership with an ounce going, I'll take this car. Thank you very much. Anyway, what else? Anything else, gentlemen, ladies? What would you like to talk about? So we hit the football, we hit the basketball. Good luck with the basketball. I don't know. This is crazy. So we got San Diego State, Creighton. I like San Diego State. I don't even know if I like them. They just beat Alabama. Let's give them credit. And then you got Miami and Texas. I like the over in the game. And then it went down 3 points. The Texas guy had a boot on. Let's say he's not playing. Miami beat Houston. So now I like Miami and the over in the game and San Diego State. And your Final Four is Connecticut, Florida Atlantic, the winner of the San Diego State Creighton, and the winner of Miami, Texas. This is – you wonder why ratings are down. So they're talking about baseball, like what's wrong with baseball. And it's very simple. There's no Bobby Bowe or Barry. There's no McGuire in it. There's no Mantle. There's no Mays and Aaron. There's no Clemente. There's no Koufax and Gibson and McLean. And where's the pitchers? You don't have any stars. Why would I watch? You would watch to see Mantle hit or Mays hit or Barry hit or Bobby hit. You would watch to see that. When's Barry coming up? When's McGuire? Is he going to hit another homer? Well, Mickey Mantle's up. Jesus Christ, stop everything. I need to watch it. There's nothing. So if we put this into an economics term, Mantle, and then the demand to watch Mantle's up here. And Barry and Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and Clemente, Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt, da 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 da, and the demand for these players are here. Now you got a bunch of nobodies. There's nobody. So here's your players, and there's nobody. Well, I probably got it. There's no demand for the players, right? So these players suck. I don't know any of them. Most of them don't even talk English. The demand to watch is nothing. Well, let's speed the game up and let's have a clock and let's have only certain. They're thinking it's a timing thing because the people are playing video games. Or, oh, I got news for you. People are playing video games the last 20 years. They still watch baseball. The difference is you don't have a Mickey Mantle. You don't have a Bobby Orr. You don't have these superstars. I mean, I was listening to hockey. I'm what 60, let's say 1970. I'm 10 years old. I'm not a big hockey fan. I'm listening on the radio to Boston Detroit games to hear Bobby Orr on the fucking radio. And I'm watching when he's on TV. All you could get's really Hockey Night in Canada or when the Wings would play Boston, and I'm watching for Bobby Orr. I'm not a big hockey thing. I can't skate. I'm a great floor hockey player, but I can't skate because I'm very coordinated. But that's my point. There's nothing making you turn on. I don't know what game's on in baseball, if there's even when it starts. There's nothing that's going to make me watch the game. I don't care. Maybe when I'm betting it, I can watch it. But the reason football works is you're betting it. And we went from the 72 Steelers to the Joe Montanas to the Lawrence Taylors to the Jimmy Joe. No, I assume you can hear. There I go. Okay, I'm back. So as long as you're betting on football and you got a Mahomes and you got Russell Wilson and you got Burrow and you got Aaron Rodgers, you got people watching, mostly the betting. Baseball, or you don't have the betting, and basketball is not nearly what you have in football because there's too many basketball games. And then they want to get you on the props. How many points will this guy score? How many rebounds will this guy? Who gives a fuck? I mean, I don't know. I would do props if Mano was playing. How many hits is he going to play? I don't know. I don't care. And that's really what you have. That's really the problem with baseball. But you don't have it in football because it's once a week. They're already oversaturating it with Thursday night football, Saturday, you got all day college, Sunday, you now have 3 games on a Monday night. You've got way too much football. I can't watch the Thursday night game, and I barely watch the Monday night game now because you just have too much. Even Saturday, I'm probably watching the 3:30 game and the night game, right? I'll pick 2 games to watch. That's it. Hey, Bobby Bo. Okay. Season those burgers. Well, how are you seasoning them? They're frozen. What are you doing? I do too, and it's ridiculous. But do you agree with me? There's no Mantle or you or Barry or Mays or Aaron in baseball, so nobody gives a fuck. Why do I want to? Who am I going to see? I can't even name you 2 players in baseball. I love college football, but hate college basketball, of course. And the reason is because we can bet college football. We can follow Rising and Van Dyke and Thompson Robinson. I was speaking, I don't know if you got it, but Thompson Robinson's now climbing up to first round for the Raiders. So obviously somebody from Oakland has been watching my broadcast because I'm giving you the 4 real best quarterbacks, unlike the 4 that these idiots are coming out with, C.J. Stroud and Richardson. Would you rather have Thompson Robinson and Hayner and Hooker and Bennett over the 4 losers that they're telling you? All day. I'm going to win with Stenson Bennett from Georgia and Thompson. I'm going to win. I'm not winning anything with C.J. Stroud and Richardson, right? And Levis. I'm not winning anything. I thought they just got Jimmy G. Yeah, they did, but now they're realizing he sucks. He's always injured. And somebody must have heard my show because now they're going, hey, yeah, Thompson Robinson. Yeah, he's probably wait a minute. Yeah, I didn't realize he played at UCLA and he's in the draft, really. I didn't realize that. I thought we had to take guys from Alabama and Ohio State and this Richardson, who's a running back. I thought we had to take them, whoever Mel Kiper says. I didn't know we could take other quarterbacks. Poor guy. He's going to be a back there now, too. Well, he's not a poor guy. He sucks. He shouldn't even be in the league. He's not good. Where was he ever good? He wasn't good at New England, and he's gotten hurt every year. So you tell me what's so good about him. He's lucky he's playing. Well, that's all he is a backup. I don't even know if he's a backup. I mean, he's always hurt. What's Trey Lance? Trey Lance, is he even a backup? I'd rather have Purdy. I hope Purdy gets healthy. The Niners can win the Super Bowl if Purdy would get healthy, and the play that he got hurt on is all his fault for not reading a defense. It should never have happened. Should have read the defense, got out of the play, or just thrown the ball into the dirt. It's the same play that hurt Tennessee when he fumbled and Jacksonville ran it in for a touchdown. What is he doing? Why is he can't see the corner blitz, so he takes his time throwing the ball? What the fuck is he doing? You got to read the defense. These guys can't even read a defense. Well, Purdy's the starter if his elbow gets better. They're thinking Tommy John surgery. I don't know if that works in football like it does in baseball, but yeah, we'll see. But anyway, so how are you seasoning frozen hamburgers, Bobby? What are you, crazy? They've got to thaw out, or you're seasoning ice. And I assume you got these from like Omaha Steaks or something, or the Ditka. Ditka has burgers. It's funny about all the Chicago guys, Ditka and Butkus, and there's another Walter Payton Steakhouse. They all have steakhouses in Chicago. Oh, they weren't as frozen as you thought. You want them at room temperature. Like they got to sit out for an hour at room temperature. The Bubba burger, I don't know. Are they any good? Bubba? Kind of. Like I knew when you said the name, but I've never seen them, or I'm not aware that I ever ate them, and I'm not even sure where you get them at. But is that like Bubba Gumm's shrimp from that one stupid movie? I really hate Tom Hanks now. I can't watch a Tom Hanks movie except for the comedies. He's so bad, and he's just impossible to watch. I used to like that movie, that Forrest Gump, and now I can't stand it. I turn it off. It's funny how these movies are good, and I'll watch them, and then after watching them a few times, I kind of wake up and go, this movie sucks. And off you go. I can't watch it anymore. I can't watch Tom Hanks anymore. I liked his comedian ones, but not, I thought that Castaway movie was the stupidest movie I've ever seen in my life. The guy should have died, lives on an island, gets off the island, and the wife leaves him. I would have told the wife to fuck off. I wouldn't have cared. So this is why you don't get married. You have 2 or 3 girlfriends. The one gets married, you go to the other one. I mean, you got to be kidding. What kind of stupid movie was that? I liked White Men Can't Jump. Well, I can't watch Woody Harrelson anymore. Turner Hooch was like Bachelor Party when he was in it. That was okay to watch, but I can't watch him in any of these other movies. I love when the comedians try to be serious, and you're like supposed to like the comedian. Like, oh, really? Sorry, Robin Williams. I don't see Robin Williams committed suicide. I think he was murdered. I don't think anybody commits suicide. I think they all get killed, and then they call it a suicide. I don't know how you would do that. Especially a popular guy like Robin Williams. Oh, he was depressed. Yeah, right. He didn't look depressed. What are you talking about? A guy like that can get all the women, and he's got all the money, and that's like Hitler killing himself. That was the biggest scam of all. Hitler killed himself in the bunker. There was 6 exits out of that bunker, and he took one of them. He wasn't even there when the Russians were down the road. He was already in where was he? He was in on his way to Argentina. I think he was in Spain on the way, or no, the Netherlands. I think he was on the Netherlands on the way to the submarine to go to Argentina to live there. I think he was long gone from the bunker by then. And there was 6 exits. And believe me, well, let me burn myself, but I won't show my face fully, and you'll just assume it was Hitler. Yeah, okay, a guy with that much money is not committing suicide. So I just find that hard to believe. But anyway, so that's my take on baseball is there's nobody to watch, so you don't watch it. You can't bet it because it's such bad play that you don't, that's why, what do I do when you hear my baseball shows? Bet on Verlander, bet on the guy on Tampa, McCutcheon. Maybe there's another pitcher we bet on. There's 3 or 4 pitchers we bet on. That's it. That's it. That's it. There's no hitters worth betting on. This is always the hard part. I don't want to risk burning my burgers, but want to make sure they're cooked on the inside. I always end up drying them out. What are you, on the grill, or you're on the oven? You're in the frying pan? How are you cooking them? So what you need to do, okay, so you need to put the frying pan on a high heat. And you got to have your burgers at room temperature before you put them in. You heat the pan up. Then you pour the olive oil on. And you'll hear the olive oil sparkling. Then you put the burger in, and you'll hear that sparkling. Now you have the heat on pretty high. So if you have a 1 through 10 oven, like most people, and 10's high, you probably have it at about 7. And your olive oil is sparkling, and you put your burger in, and the burger's in for 3 or 4 minutes. You're checking it. When it's ready, you turn it over for the other 3 or 4 minutes. You maybe just soak the olive oil on top so it doesn't dry out. And so about 3 or 4 minutes each side, and then that's it. And you pull it out and you let it rest, and that'll keep it moist on the inside, and off you go. If you got your bun and your onion and your lettuce and your mustard, because you can't eat ketchup with high fructose corn syrup, or your Ken's French dressing. I saw Ken's took a big price increase at Meijer's, $3.49. So I'll go to Walmart and go buy them for $2.99. See, this is the beauty of the market. I can go to another store and save 50 cents a bottle on Ken's and just go buy 5 bottles of it. So I have it at the $2.99 price, and not buy it from Meijer's. So Meijer's won't sell them at $3.49. Meijer's doesn't understand their market. Okay, Ken's is a $3 salad dressing because it's got no high fructose corn syrup in it, right? So if Ken has to raise their costs, nobody's going to buy it, especially since you can buy. Now, there's no substitute because Kraft has high fructose corn syrup in it. So you're not going to go from Ken's to Kraft. So it leads you into maybe the wishbone, but you're not going to buy anything else because they're all high fructose corn syrup. So you can only be in Ken's, but now you can switch markets. So you can go from Meijer's to Walmart, and it's 50 cents cheaper. I go to Walmart for my dark chocolate. This is $1.98 for this. This is Swiss chocolate. What's it? Sam's Swiss chocolate 90. So I go to Walmart for $1.98 and get it. So I usually wait till I go get gas. The gas station's near the Walmart. Get the gas, get the Walmart, and off I go. So that's basically it. Does ketchup have the calm syrup? Well, it's got the high fructose corn syrup, yes. Not all ketchups, but most. I think you need to either go to a Hunt's. You got to be careful because some will have, it'll say no sugar, but then they've got other ingredients. So like eating a diet pop where all that chemicals in there kill you. So I think there is ketchup without high fructose corn syrup. You got to look at the label. I think it's a Hunt's or a Heinz with no sugar or something. There is one ketchup. Well, I would use Ken's French dressing like I showed you. use the Ken's Friends dressing instead of the ketchup. It's so much, it tastes great. It's so sweet. Like it's got a little honey in it, right? So you just pour that in, you dip it on, it tastes great, and you're not getting any high fructose corn syrup. So if you need to go, that's what I would do. And you can't get barbecue sauce because they all got high fructose corn syrup. I only have Ken's steak sauce here at the moment. Well, this is what I'm talking about. Country French, you can see it's with orange blossom honey. And then you can see in the back, there's no high fructose corn syrup, right? It says sugar, but it doesn't say high fructose corn syrup. So that's why I get Ken's. So yeah, it's got a little sugar in it, but I don't care. This is usually, I don't put it on my salad too often. I'm more or less either dipping my chicken or hamburger in it or steak, or I'm using it to marinate. But it's more, this is my ketchup, or there's Thousand Island, there's blue cheese, there's, and now I use the Italian to really marinate my steaks. So there's a Ken's Italian, but notice it's country. This is not diet. This is the real one. But when you look on the back, I mean, there's only 9 added sugar to it. It's not a lot. And there's the carbs. There's only 10 grams of carbs. So, and again, we're just having a little. This is just your dipping. This is not, you're not having a bunch of it. You're just having a very little. So a little bit of sugar is fine for you. That's not your problem. The problem is the high fructose corn syrup and the carbs. I'd rather have this than a bagel or muffins or your bun. I mean, forget the bun and put this on it, and you're much better off. So get this. The best place is at Walmart's. It's like $2.99, and now it's starting to go at Meijer's to $3.49. I don't know what it is at Costco. I don't shop there. I refuse to pay to shop. You're going to charge me to walk into your store to shop. I'm not doing it. That's on America. That's on Adam Smith. It should be, you walk into the bakery, you don't pay the baker to walk into the store. You pay the baker when you buy something. So I'm totally missing that concept. Is everything that much cheaper? But it's bulk. What am I going to do with 20 cans of tuna, or 2 big things of Cheerios, or 20 pounds of hamburger? I mean, it's just me right now. If Jenna or Daria were here, I still don't need that much, and I don't know that the price is that much conducive. It's just that you're getting, 100 ounces of cherries, so it's cheaper, but I don't know that really saves you anything versus paying them, $80 so I can shop there. I do know it's good if you buy tires or brakes, or, you get something at the auto or a new TV, then I think Costco's is good for that. But even those are probably old brands or worn tires or something. So be careful. But this is what you want, Bobby. Get your salad dressings. Use them as ketchup. Use them as marinade. Get away from the steaks, from the barbecue sauce and the ketchup. Get away from the other salad dressings, the Crafts. Get away from Miracle Whip. There is Hellmann's that does not have high fructose corn syrup. So if you make a lot of things with mayonnaise, then you're going to be fine with the Hellmann's. Tuna, you got to be careful with. I don't know anymore. I used to eat a lot of tuna. Now I have a little bit of it. They've done their price increases, and then they've reduced their quantity. So this is still 16 ounces, but then, it's $3 and it's 14 ounces. They do that a lot to you. Ken's doesn't, but I'm sure Hellmann's or Miracle Whip or the Kraft, their 16 ounces will go down to 14, and the tuna's done that. It used to be 6 1/4 ounces, is now 5 with water, so it's 4 ounces. Well, wait a minute, I lost 2 ounces of tuna and you didn't lower your price. So you got to be careful about that. So did I answer your gold question, Mr. Bobby Bow? As far as you're worried that it's gonna go to zero. You're the only one I know who can listen to this class and worry about that thing happening. Don't worry. If I'm telling you it's a lock, it's a lock. So let me know. Anyway, I don't know anything else. I'm going to go to the club, right after this. Really to soak my feet, do a little swimming. I won't bike today. Like I like to bike 20 minutes and then I go in the hot tub and then I go in the pool, but I think I'm not. But yesterday got so crowded in the freaking hot tub. It was tough to find a place to sit. Like all these kids come in it and they're all 11 years old. And I go, if they're 11 years old, and I'm 11 years old because they look awfully young to me. You're sorry about the gold going down to zero or whatever. Again, remember your alternative. It's dollar. It's either you're in this or you're in gold. So you can't worry about, you can worry about this going to zero. That I would understand because they're inflating it, but you can't inflate gold. So I would not worry that the gold's going to go to zero. Everything can't go to zero because it's diverse from the dollar. So if the dollar goes down, gold goes up. Gold ain't going to zero because gold's the alternative to the fiat currency. You have this or you have gold. You have one or the other. So if this goes to zero, the gold goes up. There is no other way. And you don't need gold priced in dollars. You can just have gold. The Romans just had gold. They didn't have dollars. They didn't come out with Roman numerals. They just came out with, you want to go to the store and you had a coin that was gold and you bought it and it would buy so much. That's all. The reason gold's so expensive is it's priced in dollars. If you didn't price gold in dollars, I don't know if it would be $2,000 an ounce. But we know that's not even close to a real price. So you're worried about something that I don't know why you're worried about. The price of gold is so cheap compared to the reality of it. How is it going to zero? I know they want to monopolize it, but they can't. It's all done. The fat, ugly woman in the room is gone. So it cannot be, you can't. This is going to zero. That's for sure. You can't have gold also go to, there's got to be some money and gold's going to be the money. And look at the Russians, Chinese, they're coming out with gold-backed currency. That's the point. So if they come out with that, the price of gold has to go up. So I don't know what you're worried about, Bobby. You have no worries. It's just how much is it going up? And then when you go buy a nice car with your gold, then you'll understand. People always want gold. There always is a demand for it. Even though now, like people are in the stock market of Bitcoin, maybe not into gold. Oh, gold doesn't do anything. But once it's the last man standing, believe me, people will take your gold very easily. If you're walking down the street and you offer somebody a little bit of gold, they'll take it. They'll know what it is. Although in America, they're a lot stupider people because they're not taught it. But that's it. But Jenna in Ukraine, I give her gold and silver. She knows what it is. She's excited to get it. So I don't know. I might give her the 5-ounce silver, but I kind of thought it was cool. I like the orange. So I might give that to her. I might give her the coins. She'll like it, but that's what she likes. So before I'd buy her jewelry, now I give her gold and silver. She'd much rather have the gold and silver. So that's kind of neat. But I always like bringing presents. So I guess that's it. Again, basketball, who the fuck knows? We're going with San Diego State, and we're going with Miami. And the over in the Texas game. But I think, one of the guys is injured, then I like Miami, which I think he is. Professor taught her well. I didn't even teach her that. She knew. I just told her that it's going to go way up in price not to sell it. She's like, I won't. But these Russian girls are pretty smart when it comes to gold and silver. They know about money. That's what they know. They know about money. And that's where she is with that. So anyway, anything else, Bobby Bo? You missed yesterday. You owe me 10 ounces of silver. Or you can buy me 2 of those orange 5-ouncers. Those are kind of cool. So now I have a 10-ouncer and I have a 5. The 10-ounce is more like this, and the 5-ounce is a little dinky but thick. I like the 5-ouncer. I like the orange. But it comes out, and then you got the silver. So it's kind of cool. But I guess be careful. You don't want to stain them or get them all bad. So be careful with the silver about that. I tuned in. It was a few minutes after you finished. Well, did you watch it? That's been happening lately. I came on late the other day when I had the dentist appointment. I started at like 3:00 Eastern time. Yesterday, I came on a bit early because I went to the gold store at 10:30, and then I wanted to talk about it. And there was a lot of gold and banking news that I wanted to get in early. Oh, that's good. He has the $5 if you want one. 5 ounces of silver is 137. It's still the 27, but he said, I think it's going to go up soon. So it's going to be $30 instead of 27. And you mentioned that some guy went in there with greasy hands. That's what he said. He said some guy had greasy hands, and if he would have dropped it on the floor, he would have made him buy it. Now, I don't know that. I'm really not looking at the condition. I am buying brand new silver, and it looks very nice. But I go through it. I'll change it out of the plastic. I'm not playing with them, but I'm pulling it out, going, I got 20. Oh, this one has 15, so I have to find. Like yesterday, there was one with 19, and I bought 21 ounces, so I had the extra ounce that Mercury dime dollar. That's $1. And so I had to find the 19 one. So I kept taking it, counting to 20, putting them back in. So I found the 19 one. Of course, it was the last one. And now that's got 20. So now we're up to 507 ounces, Bobby Bo. And in my mind, I don't know if I have enough. I don't know what. I really don't know, because who am I going to help? And then what are they going to buy? Now, I'm thinking 2,000 an ounce. I'm going to trade in an ounce, and I'm going to be able to, have groceries for 5 months. And so this I don't know. And then how about my Social Security? How is that going to come? And is that still enough to pay rent and my utility? My monthly expenses is leaves me a couple hundred left. So is that going to still be the case? Then I don't need the silver just when I go on vacation or something. So that'll be the key. So I'm not quite sure about that. So that's why it's like the one thing I dread is, as smart as we are, oh shit, I could have bought silver at 25 and now it's at 1,000. That's what haunts me more than anything, right? Because once it goes, it ain't coming back. Once it hits 500, how are you going to feel that you could have had more at 25? And now it's 500 and you're never going to see 25 again. Now you're going to start paying 500 an ounce. How are you going to feel? That's why you need enough that when it does go to 500 an ounce, you're going to be like, oh, great, I made money on it. It's sort of like a football bet, Bobby. It's like, I bet so much on Kansas City in the Super Bowl. And then you're like, well, I'll bet a little bit more. And then you're like, okay, I have enough on the game. And then it wins. And you don't really complain. You go, no, I bet what I was comfortable with, and I'm happy I won. And that's how you got to be with the gold and silver. You have to have enough that when it goes up and it wins, you're comfortable that I should have bet more. So I should have bought more at 25. You have to satisfy that in you that I've got enough $25 ounces. Now when it goes to 500, I'm okay with it. That's what you need to do. These burgers actually came out damn good. Good for you, Bobby. The Ken steak sauce is good with it. That's good. You're welcome. Well, thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. Wait till the gold and silver goes up. Then you'll really be happy with the class. I'll have to look for this Ken steak sauce. I just look at the salad dressings. I don't think I've seen Ken steak sauce, so I gotta look for it. It might be a good thing. So do you put it on before you cook like you would? I use the olive oil and the Ken's Italian dressing. Try Italian dressing on it. It's very good. But I don't know when is the steak sauce like after you've cooked it, now you're putting steak sauce, or is that part of the meal of your marinating it to cook in the steak sauce? Because to me, the steak sauce you put on after you've cooked it, and it's kind of like instead of ketchup, you're having it. So I gotta see what you're doing. What do we got? 2:30. Okay, a few more minutes, and I'm off to the pool. These people are like they need to have lessons how to sit in a hot tub. People will come in and they'll take up 3 seats. So there's like one lady will sit here, but she won't sit in the jets. So sit between the jets. So you can't get to either jets. And then there's another lady a jet over, but you can't fit between them. And so you're not using all the jets, but there should be room for 3 people. There's only room for 2. And then you have these people, which I totally got to throw the flag on, where they're not in the hot tub, they're sitting and their feet are in. So like, what is that? I can't sit where their feet are. Sometimes I just say, fuck you, and I just sit in front of them anyway. I put it as a substitute for the ketchup because the ketchup has the fructose and fructose and the Ken stuff. So you're using that as ketchup. And it's not fructose, corn syrup. It's high fructose, Fructose, corn syrup. So the corn syrup I trust you on. It's fructose. It's sugar. So it's just high sugar corn syrup. So it's Fructose. And it's really used to preserve the ketchup and the Miracle Whip and the salad dressings and the like on the shelves longer. That's why Heinz does it and all the Kraft stuff. It's to preserve the food on the shelf. Maybe try lowering your prices, and then you can sell all the food on your shelf, and you won't kill everybody. So is that part of the plan to kill us, or is that just they're idiots and they don't know what else to do? But Ken's doesn't have any problem selling out, and actually this is steak sauce. So what are you using? This is Ken's steak sauce. What flavor are you using? So I didn't know this was steak sauce. I always thought it was dressing. Or Ken's steak. This is Ken's Steakhouse. This is steakhouse dressing. Okay. I'll have to look for the steak sauce. All right. I never heard of Ken's Steakhouse, to tell you the truth, but they sure make a good dressing. Bobby Bo struggling with the spelling. Well, Bobby, I get that. I understand. You got a little handicap there. I understand. You can't hit a curveball either, but that's all right. Yeah, the communist wants to keep talking to me, and he'll look at me, and I'm like, I don't have anything to say to you. I just kind of ignore him. He tried talking to me last week, and we had a little conversation, and and he made the comment. He insulted me by saying, "Well, I said, if I tell you something, you should just." He says, then you should take it from my word. He says, I should just trust you that you're telling me right. And I go, yeah, basically, I'm the professor. Like, yeah, I'm an economist. You should just listen. Do you take Karl Marx at his word and just assume everything he says is right? So I said, well, if you're smart, you'll just take my word. If you're not smart, you won't. Balsamic with honey flavor. That sounds good. So that sounds like a salad dressing too, then maybe. Well, I'll have to look for steak sauce, but I'm fine. This is great on steaks or chicken. No problem. And I had my General Chow, so that's. So I said she's there 1 week and then she's taking 2 weeks off. So I said to her, "What am I supposed to do for dinner while you're on vacation?" She says, "I need a break." Well, they're busy. They're very busy. Again, she doesn't know how to charge. She's not expensive enough. That's why she's always busy. She's $13 for General Chow. She'll probably be 15, but she's not a business person per se, so she's used to the lower prices. But there's always people out the door at this place, and she's got to realize she could, like, she just bumped up General Chow from $11.90 to $13.90. I doubt she lost one customer. I go there, I order it. Oh, 11, oh, 13. Oh, okay, fine. I don't even blink an eye. I'm kind of like going, I'm expecting to see 15 and she's at 13. But I don't think she'll bump it again for a while. But she's not clever enough to understand the demand's there. She can raise the price with demand, like in gold and silver, Bobby. Yeah, I will have to try that one too, Professor. This is a very good, if you like French, you'll like this. It's very, very tasty with steak, ribs, hamburgers, chicken, even on the salmon. I'll use this as ketchup on the salmon. A lot of olive oil, though. I'll put on the steaks, the chicken. Anytime I'm in the frying pan cooking, I'm using olive oil. Except for my omelets, I'm using butter. But then what I'll do, like asparagus, I'll put olive oil in. I'll throw the asparagus in. Then I'm going to put salt on it and pepper on it and butter. And I'm going to flavor the asparagus. I'm going to do that later when I have dinner. All right. Anything else, Bobby Bo? I think I am off to the other. Looks like Spain will be in the end of April. And I got to figure out if I'm going to Madrid or Barcelona. I'm not sure. The Ukrainian guy at poker said Madrid's safer, and then you can take a train, like the bullet train, in an hour and go from Madrid to Barcelona for $25. So we could do that to go to the beach on the Mediterranean. But we might just stay in Barcelona. But I'm going to look for a cheaper hotel and then spend 2 weeks there as opposed to a 5-star for a week. I'd rather be at a 3 or 4-star for 2 weeks and, give Jenna a break from the fucking war. Just finished the 2 burgers. Now time for avocado. Did you have salad with it? It's a good thing to have the veggies with the burger. I'll have lettuce, mushrooms, the broccoli, the cauliflower, the celery, and the little bacos. And then if I have the sliced turkey from the deli, right, if I get a pound of a barbecue chicken or turkey slices, I'll add that to the salad. And strawberries and blueberries. Put that on your salad. You'll love it. All right. So that's lunch. You're going to have that for dinner now? 2 more burgers? How many did you bake? Did you bake 10 or did you just make, I assume you made more than 2. Who needs to keep making 2? You make 10 and then you don't have to, so you got 5 free meals that you don't have to cook. You put them in the freezer, you put them in the frying pan to heat them up, and off you go. All right, I am out. I don't know, college basketball. So again, I took San Diego State and Miami. Who the fuck knows? They beat Alabama and Houston. That's all I know. I don't know. I can't name one player in the tournament. Even at Michigan State, I couldn't name a player. the Kansas State little guard. He didn't show up yesterday, so I don't know. I really don't. I don't care. I'm just trying to have some fun with it. Don't bet a lot if you're taking my picks. This is not football. Football, I'm giving you my picks. Gold and silver, I'm giving you. You need to take those serious. Bobby, you need to buy more silver because you're going to hate yourself when it hits 500 an ounce and you didn't buy more at 25. Just you got to prepare yourself mentally that that's what's going to happen. You got to get to a point where you're going, okay, I got enough. I got enough $25 ounces or $35 ounces because when it's soon. Because people are getting out of the banking and they're pulling their money, and then where's it going? It's stocks or gold and silver. And I think enough people are running into gold and silver. You made 4. I will have my last meal by 5 or 6 today. Oh, that's good. All right. Well, bon appetit. And then you get to figure out what they have tomorrow. Maybe you get chicken and you barbecue that up. All right, Bobby. Have a nice day then, and good luck. Buy more gold and silver before you really freak out. You can see gold, $2,100 now. As it goes up, and you're not going to buy it at 2,300, I guarantee you. That's what you're going to have with silver. So it's going up. It's right piggy tailing gold. Gold goes up, silver goes up. You don't have to worry about it. They're both real money since the Romans. Caesar had it. Everybody, all the key Romans had the gold and silver. Maximus had it. What's the guy's name in real life? Russell Crowe. I'm sure he had Roman gold when he was a gladiator. He was a general. All right. Have a nice day. Good luck and take care. And www.teaserking.com if you want to send me an email, go right ahead. Buy your gold and silver. It's moving rapidly, please. You're welcome, Bobby. And the other thing is, Bobby, he did not have a lot left. So if you're waiting for whatever reason, I mean, this guy had very little bullion, and mostly what he had, besides these 5 ounces, he had the $35 Americans. That's it. He doesn't have a lot of bullion left. It's all gone. That's your other key about worrying about the price. There's no more. It's the demand is through the roof. So there you go. All right. Take care. Have a great day, everybody.